child that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place?
All right, we made it to the end of year award show for the Shoe Geeks from the Inside Running podcast. Well, I'm here with two guys that are very, very difficult to get on the one computer at the one time. So firstly, we'll start with the absolute star of the Bay Sheffield. Is that what it's called?
It's called yes, that's what it's called. Bay Sheffield.
The Bay Sheffield professional running race over in Adelaide, where the professional runners from around Australia show up and earn their money and show off to the crowds. So he got there. He took the win in one race. He got second in another race, and he got third in another race. All different distances, showing his versatility. He's coaching himself, so he's absolutely nailing that, and he performs on the big stage. So Nida, welcome. You've had a great end of year,
Mate, you got most of that right. Thanks for having me. Look, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we're all together. So I think we can blame Tom for not getting here earlier, hey?
Well, Tom, yes. Tom, we're here courtesy of Tom's wife, who's allowed him to go to work early today and record this show. So welcome, Tom.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure. But yeah, my wife Lana, she keeps saying, why doesn't Nida just do it at nighttime? So Nida's the one that doesn't want to do the evening records.
He's tired, apparently. He's told me twice that he's very tired at the moment.
Look, you're holding on to that you're tired thing really hard now, mate. We know you've got lots of children running around the house. Or just
No, they just cry. They just cry in their cot.
All right, you 5-minute window. Tell us how it all is at home, mate. Tell us how tough this week's been. Or has it got easier? Has it got easier?
No, it's got harder. It's
Okay,
definitely just getting harder and harder. Because they've got a bit more energy. So they got their lungs are a bit bigger. They're a bit more alert. They can hear more stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty difficult, more than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And getting out for this, like this is me going, okay, well, we've got to do it once for the year. And it's an important show. The end of year award show is when we get to discuss our favorite shoes over the past 12 months and maybe discuss a bit something about what's going forward as well. So what are we looking forward to next year? Because you guys have probably seen a bit of stuff. I've seen a bit of stuff. There's not much off limits anymore talking in the future because all these brands show up to their running event in the US and show their product for next year anyway. So we used to have to sort of pull back a bit on that stuff, but I reckon we can talk about it.
Yep.
So firstly, how about we put a caveat at the start on awards for shoes? Because this is a trend the last month. All I've seen from the social media world is people giving out awards to shoes, like the best shoe of the year. And there's no context around it. It's just, this is the best shoe of the year in this category. And then this is the second best shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Drives me insane because everyone is so different and everyone responds to different things and has different perceptions of different things in shoes and has different experiences with them. So I think we can, what we're going to do is we're going to give our awards to shoes that we personally think working for us, in our opinion, are the best shoes for us in each category. And
Sounds
then
good.
we can explain why that is and what is it about our traits as a runner or our mechanics as to why that shoe has been the best for us.
Yep. That's good, Julian.
All right. Caveat done then. Caveat done. Let's just, do you guys want to chat a little about anything, or do you want to just get into the awards?
Well, we'll chat about it once we do the awards. We can do the awards because we'll go back in time a bit, I reckon, because we've had to pick or demarcate between 3 or 4 different shoes to get to the end point. So mine's evolved. Like as the year's gone on, like I've gone from one shoe to the next shoe because shoes progressed this year as well as the calendar went on. So so I won't not mention some of the other shoes I really enjoyed at the start of the year as well. I'll just sort of land on the one that was the best, whether it's the end of the year or the start of the year.
So you reckon shoes have improved? So you reckon like the shoes at the start of the year are at a disadvantage to the shoes at the end of the year because of progressions in innovation?
There's a couple which it'll be pretty clear when I mention them as it goes on that definitely fall into that category. Not all of them, but definitely some.
All right.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Mm.
Not sure I've seen the progression. Maybe
Relative to the individual, mate. I think you'll know what I mean when I mention it.
I think I know as well.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, you got any words before we get going?
No, let's get into it. Yeah, sure.
All
Maybe you're going to go through the categories.
I'm going to go through the categories. So it's a pretty difficult thing breaking shoes into categories in this day and age because people wear shoes for different things, and shoe companies aren't making, they're not looking at different holes and trying to plug it with different shoes. They're making shoes that cover a variety of different holes for a customer, like within their running shoe rotation. And so it's difficult to really classify shoes into specific categories. So what I've tried to do is thought about how myself and my friends grab shoes, the purpose of the run, and then looking at which shoes we're picking for the particular purpose of the run. And
just stop right there. Like that's spot on. Purpose of the run related to the shoe has to be the way that we do it. And it's the way runners have been doing it for many, many years. And I've seen people on Instagram and people, still categorizing shoes into stability and then putting neutral shoes into stability category. And look, while I understand it, it just confuses everyone. It confuses the retailer, confuses the practitioner. We need to come up with a language that we can all communicate in that's relatively similar from one day to another. So purpose-driven footwear is perfect. There's a perfect analogy.
Do you know what, I saw something about someone classifying a couple of relatively soft neutral shoes into the stability category just because they had a wider surface area.
Yeah. Yep. I know what you mean. Yep.
A wider surface area if someone's a heavier person that loads that shoe medially, that foam will still just collapse.
Yeah. Well, laterally, like it can. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know because that's me. And if I'm wearing a neutral shoe that has a wide surface area that might be considered what we call stable neutral for work, 1 week in, and the inside wall of that shoe is cooked, and my foot's sitting at a totally different angle than it was 1 week before. And that's what I like. It's very easy for people to come out and say, "Oh, yeah, but it's wide now, so it's stable, and it has no medial post, but it's still a support shoe." You need some integrity there.
This is the problem when someone doesn't actually wear that particular shoe for more than a couple kilometers, mate.
Yeah,
so
yes.
This is a real problem.
The issue is it's contextual. Its stability is dependent on the person using it. So what's stable for one person,
exactly,
is different to the other. So
good. So the categories we're going with today, and this has been one discussed even internally here: the best daily / long run shoe. The next category is the best recovery shoe, the best tempo shoe, best race shoe, and I've put in the best wild card of the year. And that's going to be for something that you can discuss that's not fitting the categories above. So firstly, let me just read out my description of a daily / long run shoe. This is a shoe that is worn for aerobic days, when the goal of the run is to cover it well for anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 hours at an easy effort. A daily should have enough versatility for different terrain and be able to handle the different moods of a runner as they swing from grinding out the Ks one day to finishing a long run with strength on another day. The shoe should be stable enough to handle long run fatigue, but exciting enough to still stir the loins when you're lacing it up.
It's a good description.
Now, that's my description. How would you boys feel about that? Do you guys want to change anything around that?
No, I really like it. I would have thought the difference in the daily and long run, we sort of discussed this online a little bit. Tommy didn't really, he think they should be probably demarcated potentially more than the recovery shoe. I somewhat agree, but the difference in the long run and the daily shoe for me probably was the fact that the long run, the shoe feels as good at the end as it does at the start. That's the thing. And a lot of these shoes do that really well now anyway. So it's tough to really separate them. So that's a good descriptor. I like it.
I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, the long run shoe and the daily shoe were different. And there weren't a lot of long run shoes out there. Like, we just didn't have the foams on the market to create like this beautiful 3-hour mark shoe. Whereas we do now. And a lot of people we've found anyway, are not coming in looking for a long run shoe. They're looking for a shoe. Their long run shoe is good enough to, or is perfect for their daily. Yep.
I reckon for the most part that's spot on. It's like a personal thing. Like for me, I'm always grabbing a different shoe for my daily than for my long runs, and that's just because my daily I prefer slightly less shoe.
It's also because your long run's always like 2 hours at 340 pace as well. So.
Yeah, true. It's my third session of the week, so I was going to talk about that. That's like my long run shoe could also be my tempo shoe potentially.
Yep. And this is why you can't blanket give awards out, because everyone uses shoes differently. So why don't, Nita, you start off? We're going to do winners and honourable mentions.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. At the start of the year, for my long run shoe specifically and daily shoe, I really, and you guys didn't like this shoe for a reason because you didn't like the upper of it, but I really like the upper, and I really like the midsole of the Neo Vista too. I like the midsole beneath the foot. Look, I'm looking for a shoe, especially when I'm doing the longer run, where I don't feel the ground much at the end of the run, let alone the start of the run as well. So the midsole was really like, it was mushy up top with the TPU. It had the plate in the shoe. And the upper, which irritated most people because it was just too mobile, allowed too much movement. That's never been a problem for me. That shoe was the shoe that I was picking for my long run, so it gets the notable mention. But as time went on, for example, Nike went through the Vomero 18, which I liked as a daily trainer. But when they released the Nike Vomero Plus, the difference between the Plus and the Neo Vista that put the Plus up into the long run shoe category for me is because it just didn't weigh anything. It was still stable enough for me on the forefoot. It was a softer shoe, but it just ran better at the end of the long run because I just preferred being like a bit more, like it's more arduous wearing the Neo Vista 2 at the end of the long run. It was just heavier and especially more bottom heavy. So I ended up picking that shoe as a daily shoe more often than not. In this I just got to, when you pick a shoe, you got to go back and say, what have I done the last 6 months? What have I worn? I go to that shoe almost every time. So so I love the 18th version of the Vomero is great. And now when the Plus got released, I just thought, well, this feels like just the top shelf Invincible that I always wanted as well. So brilliant shoe. So tough to fault, still using it today. And volume of the shoe. Like I reckon I'm probably 450 Ks into the shoe, still holding up pretty well. Like I guess that's PIBA, right? PIBA still feels better than EVA, even when you get to 450 Ks. So, and the waffle outsole, we do heaps of runs on white roads, heaps of just slightly fine gravel. It grips so well. That was a big, big difference as well. So I'd go on varied terrain, and the shoe just felt magnificent. So.
There is a question mark on whether that is PIBA.
Whether
it's full PIBA. So it's something that the company won't be telling us, I don't think, anytime soon. But there has been some discussion out there as to whether it's a blend or whether it's a full PIBA. Is it the same stuff that's in the Alpha Fly? We just don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty resilient still. Like when I first started wearing it, I was wearing it for more like 45 to 60 minute runs. And then eventually I started taking it for 75 to 90 minutes. And because my long run's pretty standard between 80 to 100 minutes of running, probably, 30 seconds per K slower than what Tom's doing, the shoe sustained it really well. So, yeah, good shoe, quality shoe.
Yeah, like that's my winner as well.
Hmm.
I knew we would double up a bit here. So it released in early August, and I think it came under the radar at the time because the Vomero 18 had come out earlier in the year, and it was an absolute belter of a shoe, and a lot of people had moved across from other safe options out there. And so that's one of my honorable mentions is the Vomero 18 is that it takes the classic trainer 10 millimeter pitch, but a very stable 10 mil and a lot of integrity in the rear foot. Like you really notice the heel pitch here, and it's an early sort of rocker that gets like I have a bit of a disdain for shoes that just sink in the heel. And they might be a high pitch, but they're filled with mushy foam. And although they're a high heel pitch, they don't work like a high heel pitch. The Vomero 18 is one of the what I would consider one of the sort of the safest shoes for me on the market right now.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how that shoe categorically just falls into traditionally people will be sending in for a Ghost or things like that as well for a safe shoe. But now the Vomero 18 truly does fit in that category. And it comes in that wide width as well. Like it's got all the options. It's now a really safe shoe and at like one of the best economical prices you can have at. So
Yep. And it's durable too.
It's durable.
Like, yep. So that's a mention for me. That came out early in the year. And the other mention, and I'm probably going to win the award somewhere, is the Asics Mega Blast. So the Mega Blast, I had pegged as the best. I was looking forward to it all year. This was the shoe that I was sort of hanging for. I'd seen samples of it, but the samples come in like size 9, so I don't really get a chance to feel the fit of the shoe or where the proper the geometry of the sole is different in a 9 to a 12. But this shoe, even when I got the size 12, it's the best foam. It's the best geometry underfoot for me. You can do pretty much anything you want in it. It's got enough outer sole where you can sort of run on dirt roads. I've done workouts in this shoe and they've felt good. Like I've done tempo workouts. I've done long runs in it. But and it would have been by and far the shoe of the year for me if my big toe did not get cooked every time I use it. And there's a point right on the medial side of the big toe that just tapers a little too quickly and it's a bit too shallow. And every single time I go past 60 minutes, there's an accumulative pressure that forces me to be pulling my big toe back off the end. And I've tried a half size up and it didn't make any difference. So it's probably coming down from the top a little bit, but it means that I can't wear it for long runs. So it's so close to perfect for me, but it just ain't it. So the winner for me was the Vomero Plus as well. I think most people, when it came out in August, Vomero Premium was the hype still because Mance was wearing it and there was it looked crazy. And the Plus was like, oh, it's going to be a takedown of something like that. It's not that exciting, but it's a 10 mil pitch still, Vomero Plus. Like again, I like that. It's so stable for how high it is. I have no idea how they made that stable for the height and bounce of the shoe. It's not an aggressive rocker, but it's got rigidity. And the fit is just a new wave of Nike fit where I can wear it for 3 hours. My foot's fine.
Yeah, let's not sleep on the fit. The fit in the forefoot's really good. Yep.
Yeah, and that's like we harp on it on here. The fit will determine your success in a shoe over everything else.
Yeah, true.
And that's why the Mega Blast doesn't get top spot because of the fit.
That's why the Mega Blast, like, it's interesting you mentioned that because, like, as a daily trainer category, like, up there for a winner. Because, like, for me, what I'm telling people a lot is this is the race shoe. This is a race shoe for a lot of people, I think. So for you, it might be a daily or a long run shoe. And for a lot of people, it might be a race day shoe.
You know, to add further context to that, because I'm not using the Mega Blast as a racing shoe and I'm using it as a longer run shoe, I didn't find it that much different from the Super Blast for me. Like, I really didn't. Like, I found the upper of the Super Blast maybe slightly more comfortable because I was using it for a long run, right? Yeah. So I wanted the shoe to be more comfortable. I found the forefoot between the two shoes wasn't far removed from terms of feel. And look, perhaps I didn't have too many upper issues in either shoe as well. So because it wasn't that different to the Super Blast, and I was using it for the same purpose, it just didn't give me the wow. But if I was using it as a racing shoe, it probably would be the difference. Having this nice thin upper, a little bit more streamlined, that would be the difference. But categorically, if it's fitting into the daily long run shoe, it didn't wow me as much as what the Super Blast did when it first came out, to be honest. So
we should mention the Super Blast was December last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So it doesn't, the Super Blast 2 doesn't count in these awards.
Yep.
Because a lot of people are still picking the Super Blast 2 for the daily/long run shoe.
Yep.
Yeah, the upper, I find the upper in the Super Blast still just comfortable, and maybe gravitate towards it because of that. The upper makes a difference. Like that Vomero Plus upper is just so nice.
It is. Yeah.
There is a bit of a bias in the Vomero Plus towards an easier pace than a steadier pace when you compare it to like Mega Blast and other shoes.
What do you got, Tom?
So honorable mention, start with which doesn't get a lot of love. It's the Max 6 from Hoka. Because it's just I appreciate just almost like with a daily long run, it could be like how you describe shoes near like a utility shoe. It can do a lot of different things. So like that shoe can go short, it can go long, you can go a little bit faster in it. I can do, because a lot of my daily some of my daily runs, like twice a week, I'll be selecting a shoe to do some strides and drills in, occasionally some plyos as well. So I want a shoe that can handle that as well. So it's not going to be a Mega Blast. I want something slightly lower stack, more nimble.
I found that with the Evo SL was a bit like that. So that was last year as well, in my opinion. I've never had the Max 6, but they always sort of felt like similar utility shoes.
Yeah, exactly. I'll give the Vomero Plus another plug as well. Like that's probably another close runner up for me. Like I've really enjoyed that shoe. So it's like the first daily trainer from Nike since the Epic React that I've loved. So it's been a while. So it's good to have a nice fun Nike in the rotation. I got to, it might be some recency bias, but I don't think so. But like the Saucony Triumph 23, that would be my daily long run shoe of the year. I've done long runs in it. Obviously if I was going to prioritize long run, it might be a different shoe. But as a shoe to hit both, like the Triumph, it can do it all. It's just, for me, I love the flexibility of it as well. Like it's torsional flexibility, and like the length flexibility on its length. It's just super nimble and flexible. And I appreciate that. And just the softness without being too unstable as well.
Yeah.
So it just feels like a beefed up Rebel from New Balance. So it's just like a little bit more shoe. So I could take it probably longer and feels a bit more protective. And then the upper is just so comfortable. I get crazy good lockdown in the rear foot. I'm not moving around in the shoe. The heel cup's got this like really interesting, it's really tapered. It's like really triangulated. And so the padding either side of the heel bone kind of grabs the heel like really well. Whereas like the opposite of that would be like some of these new race shoes, like the Metaspeed race shoes that have like zero padding either side. There's like a touch of padding at the Achilles, but there's nothing either side of the heel, and so it doesn't grab the heel. So the heel just moves up and down a lot more. So Triumph 23, I think it's a sleeper. I don't know many people that use it, but
no, you're right. It's not seen as often, but everyone has worn it so far, have enjoyed the shoe. It's a TPU midsole, isn't it? So it's durable as well.
I think it's a PIBA blend.
A PIBA blend, is it?
Yeah. So so far durability is pretty good. It's soft with it's not like a fast shoe or anything. So it's not. I wouldn't want to like necessarily pick up in it. So it's not versatile in that sense, but flexible. Like I like doing my plyometrics and strides in a flexible shoe because it just I can feel like I'm using my foot and ankle a little bit more, which is part of like I'm trying to reap some benefit there with conditioning. So it's I'm super happy with it. Love it.
Cool. That's good variance there. I like that. All right, next category then. So, recovery shoe.
Give us a definition of this, Julian.
Yeah. All right. A shoe that makes getting out the door easy on the days that the legs are complaining. The shoes are usually more cushioned and more rocketed to reduce foot and ankle load and promote an easy forward transition with a protective type feel. They're generally heavier and more sluggish than a daily trainer, which means they're dialed into the slower paces of a recovery run. Anything from you guys on that?
Nah, it's good. I think a shoe you probably day whether you think you're going to run or not. If you're not going to feel like you're not going to run, shoe that lets you get out the door, and whatever symptom or pain you sort of have, it sort of just dampens that sort of perception of it, I
I
reckon.
think I know what shoe you're going to nominate for this, Nitter.
Yeah, go, Nitter. Go for
look,
it.
I look back still with the Nike theme, and look, it's been ages. We haven't put Nike in a daily trainer category for such a long period of time. It doesn't just get the daily trainer with the Vomero Plus, the Vomero Premium. Like for me, I thought as soon as I saw it come out, Zoom X through the whole midsole plus the pods. I love the pods on the Alpha Fly 1, and this felt like a more bottom heavy version of the feeling you get in an Alpha Fly 1, the bounce off the ground. I remember having the sorest calves after a track workout and putting the shoe on the day after, and it's the exact feeling that I wanted. I wanted to feel nothing in my calves whatsoever. So it is a bit heavier. Look, I still can get going in the shoe as well, but it's not the purpose of the shoe. There's probably a bit of risk in that. The shoe that I'm wearing this for is usually for easy days as much as I am for recovery. Recovery days and easy days are almost closer together to me than what the long run shoe is. But I've gone long in this shoe as well. So only because there's been days where I probably shouldn't have gone long because I was sore, and I put this shoe on to be able to go long in it, for example, as well. So I definitely feel my quads more, and I definitely feel like the proximal part of my glutes more when I wear this shoe. I've seen vision of me jogging in the shoe, and I hardly bend my knee, and I think that's just purely because why do I need to bend my knee when I don't feel the ground? I don't need to cushion. I don't need to flex the knee quite as much. So I feel this shoe influences my mechanics a fair bit as well, but it seems to offload not just my ankle and my foot really dramatically. It's a nice stiff shoe. It seems to just I can feel the shifting of load in this shoe compared to other shoes, and that's sort of what I'm looking for on those recovery shoes. The only thing that gets sore for me is always my lower legs and calves. So I love it. Yeah, it's a brilliant shoe, and I loved it so much within. And I knew this was going to be a purposeful shoe for me at 40 years of age. I had to shoot Julian a message a week after to get a second pair. And so I've got two pairs of Vomero premiums at home, a black pair and a white pair. And oh, mate, like I think this will probably, dare I say, unless they make something more extravagant than this will be a daily rotation in my shoes for the rest of my running days, I reckon, for the purpose of recovery. So they've nailed it.
I reckon on that, Nitter, like I had when I was thinking about recovery, what is the recovery shoe? I had 2 points. 1 point was, like you said, Julian, a shoe that facilitates easier paces. So you don't want to run fast in it. It doesn't put a pep in your step. It kind of just helps facilitate running slower.
Yep.
But the second one was offloading sore sites.
Yeah.
And so like sore sites, that can be different for every single person, and that can be different week to week, not only person to person. The same person, like 1 week, like you, Nitter, if you got you're saying historically more like sore lower leg. But like I'm almost the opposite. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll put on the like, and even like through a week, for example. So like the recovery run Monday might be different to the recovery run Thursday, because Thursday is post interval session for me, and Monday is post long run for me. So I might want to put a more nimble, lower stack shoe on a Monday, but I might want to go like higher stack on a Thursday. And that's the loading site thing. So like longer runs, I might be more beat up quads.
That's
whereas
right.
like calf and Achilles would be sore on a Thursday.
It's a good point, mate, because I reckon the other week when we were over the hills for the first time, lots of downhill running, my quads were beat up. And I felt really, really comfortable going out the door and running in the Rebel V5 the day after. So that's what I was seeking. So
yeah.
So what's your answer, Tom? What's your shoe?
So for me, it's actually it was hard to decide actually, but I'm actually going to go the Vomero Plus. Just because it's that. It doesn't make me want to go fast, but it helps. It's really just so comfortable. It's it's cushioned, comfortable. It has enough bounce that it does help like make the run feel a bit easier, but doesn't make me want to run fast. So yeah, that's hit the sweet spot for me. And I find the premium I could use it, but it just doesn't. It just feels a little bit too much shoe in general for me. And I just find the plus better.
Fair enough. Makes sense when you've picked the Triumph for your daily. So I'm the premium as well. I feel like it's the biggest innovation in running shoes in a long time. I love that they're innovating outside of race product.
Yeah.
Because we know that you don't get faster just from putting a race shoe on. You get faster from running more. And a shoe that can get you out the door running more is going to be so much better for your actual performance as a runner.
Yeah.
So most people should be looking at that particular category of shoe when they're considering a rotation. Is the shoe that'll get them better. The problem for me is that it's a concrete shoe. It's just no good on dirt, and it's a liability. So I have to pick and choose where I run, which probably isn't a bad thing, really, because it'll keep me flatter if I'm using that shoe where it should be used.
Got to note that the outsole once again for Nike, the outsole is like it's waffled, it's fantastic, it grips pretty well. You're right. I still take it off road a little bit as well, but just the stability of being so high off the ground, I get it. Like running on the cambered surface, you'll have one side of the shoe compress a lot more than the other two, and because it's so high off, the moment arm just makes you feel like you're just moving that direction a touch more. I still like that though. I don't mind moving around a little bit when I'm in the shoe, but geez, the outsole on all the Nike range, a whole Vomero range and all the Pegasus range is just like almost the most versatile outsole there is.
Yep. Next category is the best tempo shoe. Now, this is probably the most debatable category. Traditionally, tempo shoes were lightweight trainers. So the racing flats were so aggressive with no cushion, and they used to destroy your calves, that they needed to be a category that allowed you to do your longer tempo or your steadier running in that wasn't a race shoe. And so that used to be shoes like the Asics DS Trainer or the Adidas Boston. For a while, the Saucony Kinvara was in that area.
Yeah.
Nike Zoom Elites. Do you guys have a tempo shoe of the olden days that you absolutely adored?
Zoom Elite 4 was the one. Zoom Elite 4. And I actually didn't mind at the time, like when this is going to sound like a dinosaur, but when the DS Trainer updated the Spiva for the first time with that little rippled outsole, similar to what Mizuno do, that combination was really, really good. It was just a massive upgrade. But between that and the Zoom Elite 4, which remember the Zoom Elite 4 still had that bit of medial post in there, but it was bouncy and responsive and in between in weight. To me, when you had that definition of a tempo shoe, that's what it reminds me of. But because we have so many options for super shoes now, my definition, I don't even use the shoe like that for anymore. I almost use that shoe more as a daily trainer where I pick the pace up or do strides at the end now, as opposed to what I would use it for now.
Well, let me read out my definition then.
Yep.
A tempo run is generally an in-the-middle type effort run. Threshold for some people, marathon pace for other people. Today, we're going to consider a tempo shoe to be a versatile, faster running shoe. A shoe that you can put on and run a fast fartlek, some threshold intervals, or a 30K hard long run. It's generally more stable than a full-blown racing shoe and much lighter and more aggressive than a daily trainer. Some have plates and some don't. The other thing is a tempo shoe should be more durable than the full racing shoe. So it's a sustainable part of your rotation.
Yep.
Do you want to add anything there?
That's pretty good.
That's a great definition.
All right. Tommy, you go first on this one. What's your tempo shoe?
There were some close contenders, but I had to go with the Adidas Evo SL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought Nita told you that it was December last year.
Oh, really? Was it?
Well,
That's all right.
I'll allow it. I'll allow
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. I missed that memo.
Me too, actually. Like I don't remember it coming out.
I
We
can.
got,
I mean,
we
I
we,
can.
we accessed it early. I think that's what muddies the water, I reckon. So,
All right, so I'll leave it. I'll claim it.
yep.
It's just, yeah. Like, I guess personally, I picked it for the fact that it's so versatile. I can session in it. I can do fast. Like I can do long. But for example, as part of that definition, like doing sessions, there are other shoes that I would like. For example, I'll do a lot of my faster session work in my race day shoes.
Yep.
But yeah, purely as the fact that it can tick all the boxes and just because it needs a mention, it needs an honorable, it needs a, I think it wins a category, so it wins this category for me, just because it's just phenomenal. It's just the upper is the only thing that lets it down, but I think the midsole makes up for that. It's just so simple. It's simple, done well. I think we need more shoes that utilize a tuned midsole without having to worry about putting in rods or plates. If you get the density and geometry right, I think you can nail a shoe without putting a plate in it. So, and I really appreciate the fact that this shoe doesn't have plates or rods, because I think part of why I like it so much is that it has a little bit more flexibility through the forefoot.
Yep.
Yeah, so they've just tuned that light strike foam, I think, really nicely for this model, and it's durable. Like someone asked a listener question. I don't know if we covered it last ep, but about, are there any shoes on the market now that still need a break-in period? And interestingly, like the Super Blast and the Evo SL for me are still shoes that kind of get better after 60 to 80K.
Yep.
So the sole does tend to like soften up slightly, and then it hits that sweet spot, and then it maintains that sweet spot for ages. So for durability, like you were saying, Julian, for like the fact that you don't want to be spending loads of money and like using your race shoes, like burning through race shoes. So like the durability and the cost of this shoe, like 240 retail for how durable it is, you can't beat that.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
I like it. It got an honorable mention for me, but I actually changed it to the ATR version because that came out this year. Because the fit was no good for me in the current, in the first version of the Evo SL. It has changed. The woven is a little different, and the ATR has much better lugs for where I run, and a gusseted tongue, and it locks down really well. So, but the midsole I loved. I did really like the slab of foam and how it was shaped. But the upper allowed too much movement for me. The tongue was too short, too thin. The lacing, it was nearly there. It was nearly there. And the ATR is still a nearly there shoe. The upper on it is a bit thick and crunchy. It has like a water repellency thing on it, which makes it a bit stiff. But I've had one proper good long run in it, and I adored it on that run. So it got an honorable mention for me.
Fair enough.
But the winner for me was the Hoka Rocket X3.
Ooh, yes.
And
I like this.
Yeah, well, you got me onto this shoe because Brie had a very early sample. No, she had it. It wasn't an early sample. She got a sample very early, so it was an actual production sample, and she loved it for jogging around at a faster pace. She loved it, and I thought, okay, I'll have to try it when I get it. And it came in, and I put it on in store. It didn't blow me away, and I thought, oh, I don't need this. And then I started to wear a few of the race shoes that I've got maybe a bit too often, and my calves were getting sore all the time. And my ankle was getting a little sore, and I was feeling like maybe they were a bit too soft for me. And so I thought, oh, Tommy's talking about this long run shoe out in the 30 plus Ks on a Sunday, and likes to fit. He puts heel pitches in, all this sort of stuff. So I tried it, and the first run in it, I thought, whoa, this is like old school tempo shoe feels. Like this is right in the middle of where I want to be. It has a firm heel. It has a pretty soft forefoot. Has very stable, like upper, a secure upper, and it has a good amount of outer sole underneath. There's no cutouts of the midsole where I fall into like the pillars of foam. So it's a shoe that I pretty much reaching for nearly every session, unless I want to knock one out the park. Yeah. So kudos, Tom, for getting me onto that. But that's a win for Hoka in this round.
Yeah, look, I've got a short memory, so I'm 100%, I'm 90% sure that last year's Shoe of the Year category, I think I gave it to the Evo SL, so I don't think I could do it again this year. So you guys are going to think I'm mad for this one. For me, this sort of tempo shoe, the attributes that happen is I feel like I spend a bit less time on the ground. I feel like the shoe's more nimble, so I take a few more steps per minute. And the shoe that did that for me the most this year was actually the Asics Sonic Blast, which neither of you guys loved. But there is a small caveat through here. The Sonic Blast, which had the TPU on top and the EVA carrier foam down the ground, the TPU at the close to the foot was quite firm. And I felt like I had to run a bit faster to make the shoe feel better. And I did, like, I still find the shoe just generally a little bit firm. I found the fit really nice. I found it similar to the Evo SL in terms of the way I ran and I would finish this shoe. I would use this one for strides quite often because I could run fast in it. The only caveat is that I put this TPU liner in on the top just to make it feel superficially. So I was modifying the shoe. I remember your quote years ago, Julian, like sometimes you just have to let a shoe be a shoe, which technically it shouldn't be a category. Shouldn't be a category winner if I've had to modify the shoe a bit. But every other aspect of the shoe, I found nimble, light, fast. The complaints of this shoe in the population is generally that it just felt a little bit too firm and too blocky underfoot. But I found that because I'm so biased to the forefoot, it felt pretty nimble underfoot. This was a utility shoe or a tempo shoe for me that I could wear. So like rather than going out the door and running 430, 440s, I'd often come back in this shoe and it was between 355 and 410. And to me, that was like a shoe that was just more upbeat. I probably could session in it, but I didn't session in it. So, but for tempo purposes, that's the shoe that I was picking this year. But I didn't pick it any more than the Evo SL. Like I had Evo SL last year and I probably used them similar amount. Probably the front end of the year, I used the Evo SL more. And then I started using the Sonic Blast a bit more just because I got along with it pretty well. So, yep. So Sonic Blast, which won't make it to many people's lists this year, but just for the purpose on how I used it and how I felt using it, it was a shoe that I'm still using today. Like I warmed up in it on the Saturday because it makes me feel a bit better when I'm running in it. Like my timing's better on the ground. So I use that pre-race sometimes, but I didn't use it on day 2 purely because I was cooked. My calves are sore. So what shoe did I put on? I put on the Vomero Plus because it just accommodated how I wanted to feel when I was warming up. So yeah, so Sonic Blast for me this year.
That shoe is the definition of a modern day tempo shoe.
I think so.
The Sonic Blast. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I reckon that's exactly what they've gone for. Like, let's make a new age DS trainer.
Yeah, I reckon they could drop the durometer of the TPU a little bit more, or put a nice soft liner on top of it, or perhaps even remove the nylon plate that's in the shoe. Like, it probably doesn't even need the nylon plate. Yeah, but anyway, it was good enough for me for what I used it for.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's get on to the fast stuff. The best race shoe. So the shoe to run your PB. Put it on for races, speed sessions, and or important workouts. Sacrifice durability for pace. Expose yourself to more risk through aggressive geometries in the pursuit of glory.
Yeah, good. Very good. Yeah, I like it.
For me, this is not just a yearly win here. This is the best shoe. This is the best race shoe that I've ever put on of all time. I think that's probably pretty accurate for a lot of the shoes this year. We do have short memories though. The Asics Metaspeed Edge Tokyo. So I never wore the Paris versions of the Metaspeed range. I just didn't feel like there was anything that special about them. But this new Flight Foam Leap that sits under the forefoot in the Edge Tokyo, and the generosity of the upper, for me, like I've never put a racing shoe on and felt like there's just no constriction in my forefoot like I do in this shoe. The weight of the shoe, I think it's about, what is it, 170 grams or
It's light.
100. It's incredibly light, and I haven't been able to wear a shoe this light due to stability issues in the others that are around this weight. This shoe is stable enough for me. Where I land, my foot disappears on the ground. Like it's in the perfect position for my foot strike, where I don't feel any sort of kickback from a firm foam or being on the wrong side of a rocker. I don't feel any lateral instability where I fall off the shoe. It increases, or it encourages, a higher cadence for me, I think. Maybe it's the weight that does that. Maybe it's where the change of foam sort of transitions, or the shape of the extra spoon in the plate. But I put it on and it disappears, and I feel fast, and I feel natural. So yeah, it's a real gun of a shoe for me.
That's the perception I love, like what you're describing, like the shoe disappears on foot. That's what I want.
Oh yeah, I've never had it with anything else. Like you can talk about Alpha Fly and go, oh, it's so bouncy and it like gives so much back, but no one's saying that shoe disappears on their foot.
Oh, just knitter.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. That shoe disappears on a lot of feet, mate. That Alpha Fly 1 is still in demand. They release that tomorrow. That shoe disappears in 10 seconds online. So
yeah. It's crazy how it came out in 2020, and then it's just never like there's been no real progressions on it. Yeah. Like Alpha 3, there has been a little tweak to it, but and they opened that cavity up in the forefoot and allowed the bag to do a bit more. But really, like it's almost like they made the one and said, our work here is done. We don't know what else to do.
Bring it back, I say. Bring it back. That's what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Tommy? What's your race shoe of the year?
Well, as you boys know, I've been racing in an old model. So I've been racing in the Metaspeed Metaspeed Edge Paris. So unlike you, I haven't quite got along with the new Tokyo models as much, and it's although you find it stable, I've just found them a little bit not stable enough for longer races. Like I feel like I'm moving around on the midsole too much, and maybe also like it's not rebounding at the right time for me. Almost like it's a little bit too compliant and not rebounding fast enough. And it just annoys me. Like I think it would actually work a lot better if the upper was just slightly more secure. I just feel like I'm moving on top of that midsole a little bit, and it's just like it's not like the shoe is on my mind, like it's not disappearing on my foot because I can feel it moving around. I'm like, it's kind of like annoying. I can feel it kind of moving around. So I reckon it'd be like a tiny tweak for me, and it may, like I've been using them more recently now that I've pretty much done with my last Paris model. So I do like them, but yeah, I think if I have to pick, it's actually going to be it's probably unpopular in this on this podcast with you two on here, but the Vaporfly 4, just because that is the shoe for me that disappears on foot.
Yeah,
it feels like it's got more cushion and more guts than V3, even though I think the tech specs are something. I mean, they're somewhat similar, they're slightly different, but it's just something to do with the way they've done the geometry and tuned the foam, that it just feels bouncier. I've raced 2 half marathons in them. I'd happily race a marathon in it. It's just, they've iterated slightly with that model, and I think V4 now is back to as good, if not better, than that V1 Next Percent. Like I know Brady was talking about, like bring back the Next Percent V1, but like this is it. This is better. I reckon this is probably slightly better than the Next Percent V1. So yeah, it's don't. Yeah, I reckon this is where they don't want to mess too much with the recipe with that shoe. It's enough shoe for me. For a lot of people, they want more bounce. They want knitter. You want those massive bloody pods on your forefoot. I don't need them. I don't want them.
I know enough people that have said the exact same thing as you have as well, mate. Those people that probably want a bit of a lighter, nimble shoe, keep the cadence rate high and things like that.
Yeah.
I've actually had a couple of people because they in our group had a bit of knee pain and they were wearing shoes like the Rebellion Pro 2 and things like that. Shoes that just dampen the effect. You hit the ground hard, or Rebellion Pro 3, sorry. And a few that have actually moved back to the Vaporfly 4 for workouts just because it loads the foot and ankle maybe a bit more than some of those other shoes with bounce and pod. And it's just because it keeps their cadence rate up a bit higher. It's truly light shoe. People using it for threshold work and you can blend it. You can run fast in that shoe. Like you can run really quick because it's just nothing on your foot. So I found it a shoe that I could use for like fast repeats on the track and feel like, I don't know, almost a track spike, even though it's not a track spike, but there's less than a forefoot. So I can understand that. People who want that just nimble shoe on their foot for race day, it's probably the Vaporfly 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to go the other pole end, mate. Like and I'll just mention this, it's worth mentioning because ASICS did such a good job with their shoes this year and their daily trainers, but their race shoes were a highlight. Like we've seen more off the Tokyo Edge and the Tokyo Sky. Unfortunately, on Instagram, when they sort of like they mention like, you know, winners of marathon races, they just put everything under the Sky category. Is that are you guys seeing that as well? Like, I'm sure people are wearing the Tokyo Edge more than they're wearing the Sky, but they just seem to be calling it the Sky. The Tokyo Sky worked better for me, and the only reason it worked better for me, I'm just biased to the forefoot. I preferred the TPU feeling, although there's a lot of TPU in the forefoot in the Edge. I felt like I bottomed out the Edge just a touch more, like I got to the plate really quickly. So I think having the plate a little bit higher felt more like that pod sensation, more bounce coming from the forefoot. Felt stable enough to me as well when I was running in it. But that's an honorable mention. That's not the actual shoe I would pick. You talk a bit about picking a shoe with risk and reward. The Puma Fast R3 absolutely was that shoe. I wore them for the 12K Cedar Bay here, and I wasn't in that ideal shape. I didn't have great road running, and my calves got sore by the end. But the timing of the shoe, it did exactly what I want in a shoe. It made my stride longer. I spent longer on the ground. I had a higher ground contact time for the shoe to like store and release energy, similar to what the Alpha Fly 1 made me feel. And I had just a longer stride in general. That shoe gave me more pop, and that extra lever at the end, you know, with the extension of the plate, look, that might have been a bit of a risk factor for calves. I noticed when I first put it on the first run, I went up and down a few hills. And of course, running up hills with the extra lever was a problem for me. But I think that shoe's probably been the best innovative shoe in the racing category this calendar year, I reckon. It's unique. It doesn't work for everyone. The rear foot it's a bit less stable. There's a huge demarcation between the rear foot and the midfoot, forefoot section. But if you hit that forefoot slab, it's an unbelievable shoe. So 5K race shoe for me, for sure. 10K race shoe, they're the one I'd reach for. Yeah, I'd accept the sore calves the following day. I probably need to be more tolerant to it. But yeah, Puma Fast R3 for me, and the honorable mention to the Tokyo Sky as a race shoe.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move on. This category is called the wild card. This is a shoe that you feel needs highlighting that hasn't quite fit in the categories of above. Now, it could be from anywhere of your footwear rotation. I'll start. Now, in summer, often you're out walking around and it's hot and you don't really feel like putting a pair of shoes on.
Here we go.
But traditional sandals do not have enough cushion for you, or enough grip, or enough support through the upper. There's a brand out there called Teva, and they've made a sandal called the Grandview Max sandal. And their hiking shoe is called the Grandview Max. And it's a full-on big cushioned hike shoe with some rocker in it. And it's outstanding. Big whack of Vibram foam underneath. Now, what they've done, Teva, is they've just basically taken the upper off their hiking boot and put on a neoprene 3-strap upper that supports, that locks you down in 3 different areas in a neoprene, booty almost, but you have, it's almost like 40 mil of cushion under your foot and a Vibram outer sole. So it's a hiking sandal, but I wear it everywhere.
I bet you do.
You get the support of a big old hiking shoe with a breathable upper, and your foot can just live and get air.
Mate, that is the most surf coast thing I've ever heard. Mate, I've never.
It's so good because now you can sort of fit in at the pub a bit more without wearing running shoes. You just have a half hiking shoe sandal on your foot.
I've recommended this to someone thanks to you, actually.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah. Because I asked you about an options a couple of months ago or a month
That's
ago.
right.
And,
I remember this in the group
this
chat.
came up in the group chat, and I sent on this recommendation, and it was a good one, as it turns out.
Did they get it?
Yeah, I think they got it. Yeah,
wow,
they're happy.
Oh, good. It's actually a pretty incredible shoe when you consider what it can do for someone. Because if you're like, you guys would know it all the time. Someone comes in to our store and they're like, "Oh, I got some plantar fasciitis. I need to update my running shoes that I use for 20 minutes every third day. What do you wear for the other 7 days? Oh, well, I'm in these Skechers for work, and then I wear thongs outside of that." You're like,
true.
fuck.
Yeah.
Like, look after yourself. What do you like? You're in a pair of sandals or thongs for 8 hours during the holidays. You need to look after your foot there. That's where this sandal comes into it. And that's me.
What do you got, Tommy?
I got a pretty boring one after this, just because I didn't give it an award, but it deserves one. Is the Mega Blast? So because it just didn't fit in the categories for me as it should, but it's just a phenomenal shoe. Like they've just iterated it. They've turned the Super Blast into a slightly faster shoe now. So I think it's fun, it's versatile, and I think it's going to make an awesome race shoe for a lot of people. So it has to be mentioned. As
far as the public goes, for like a race shoe and upbeat tempo shoe, it's really like optimized that category for a lot of people the experience people get when they put that shoe on. And I mean, imagine starting your running and that's the first shoe you end up getting in your running. Like,
people just don't like. We've been running for like 20 plus years. Like people that have taken up running they have no idea. I have no idea how good they have it right now.
Yeah, and look, it's part of the boom, isn't it? Like we talk about the running boom taking off. Like shoes have just landed. They've definitely contributed to the running boom and how good shoes make you feel. Not feeling the ground and making you feel better than what you are by a few seconds per kilometer. That's a thing. That's a metric. Like it does. It is adhering people to running. So that's important to note, I reckon. So,
yep.
Mega Blast is a banger. Yeah.
It's going very well in store too. Like it is the shoe that people are asking for more than any other shoe right now.
Yeah. Well, look, let's just put a note on that one and come back to it, because obviously there's upgrades the following year or this next coming year in those sort of ASICS category, and ASICS are just continuing to make really good moves. But I'll do mine quickly as well. Mine is in a different category as well, and I'm just going to bring this one up. I'm going to have a little bit of a whinge about it, and I'm going to talk about the really benefits to it as well. I got the MDX3, the running spike from New Balance. Now, the MDX3 was famous for Sydney McLaughlin shoe for the 400 hurdles. Jake Whiteman wears it for the 1500. I think the girl who won the indoor 3K, she wore it for the 3K as well. So there's this fuel cell midsole through the hole. It's a really aggressive rocker, and the plate is quite stiff as well. It has the deepest heel cup out of any spike possible. Like I put a heel raise in, so an EVA heel raise with TPU on top, close to 1 centimeter, and it's still the deepest heel cup of any spike that I've ever worn. So it's so deep. You can fit something orthomechanically all the way through this shoe, except the toe box is narrow and except the shoe runs really, really short. So when New Balance sent it through at 10.5, I've never not been 10.5. It's always been on the long side. It was well and truly too short for me. So I had to go pick up an 11 in shop. So, but I wore it over the weekend for 550, 800 and mile. The midsole, the magic in the midsole of this shoe is fantastic. In terms of spikes, the aggressive plate plus the midsole feels as good as any spike I've worn. It's a bit of a shame the upper is just a little bit, it's not like a traditional spike. It's almost like got the heel counter that I mean, Tom, you want like a secure heel counter. This one's just too deep, unfortunately, not padded, so it's a bit aggressive in that setting. They could probably drop the weight through there and make this upper a little bit more flimsy, but the midsole is fantastic. So in terms of spikes going all the way from, I think Gabby Thomas won the Olympic 200 meters in this shoe. So all the way from sprinting all the way through to middle distance races, it's a pretty good track spike. And it's just got a bit more substance than what the Dragonfly 2 does have, even though it's a little bit heavier. It just, if you want a bit more pop from the shoe, you want a bit more aggression, I think the New Balance MDX is pretty good. And I haven't got access to the LDX. I know Ellie's probably got that as well. That's probably slightly better in terms of the upper would be my guess. But has Ellie talked about the LDX at all, or did she wear that as Zatopek?
Yeah, she did. She notices that it's a bit flatter feeling.
Yeah, okay.
The fact, like, it's under 20 mil. I mean, she doesn't spend a lot of time in spikes, but it probably doesn't have that like real aggressive forefoot sort of bounce to it. It feels a bit more of a traditional type of spike. Bit flatter on the ground.
Mate, if they spiked up the, remember the 5280, that was about sweet. I reckon that's what she got a 10K PB in, wasn't it, when she went to Doha? So
that's right, yeah.
Yeah. But that's my notable mention. So I like the fuel cell as a spike on a rubber track as well, and a grass track for that matter.
All right. Well, that's our awards for the year. I'm going to throw one more thing at you, and it's going to be about next year. So you guys have seen some stuff. There's been a lot on social media. Like we said at the start, I reckon we can get away with talking about it a bit more now. What are you excited for in 2026? Start with Nitter.
Look, I've got two that I'm excited for. So, with the production of putting TPU now into all the shoes and things like that, I think I'm preferring the TPU almost at slower paces a little bit more, like easier day paces, because it feels more plush. I've seen the snippets of the Super Blast 3. I've seen they put TPU in the forefoot in the Super Blast 3. It looks like it's going to slow that shoe down a little bit, I reckon, and it's going to make it feel more luxurious, and it's going to actually demarcate it from the Mega Blast a little bit more, because they both are currently, the Super Blast 2 feels pretty responsive and pretty good. As an easier day shoe and slowing it down a touch more, I reckon I'm going to prefer the Super Blast 3 with a TPU in the forefoot. So I'm excited for that for long runs and easier runs. And then outside of that, I've just seen the updates of the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite 4. And I've seen it a little bit on the feet as well. It looks like it's got a little bit less weight than the 3. And it keeps pretty much the same sort of attributes, and it just looks like a more friendly version than the Fast Star 3, and it will be safer for workouts and probably prefer it for racing as well. So I reckon they're the two, like, just leaning into that at the moment, I reckon. So I haven't seen as much from Nike or anything coming out, but those two I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah, that's a good call. That Deviate Elite 4, it looks really nice. I remember seeing that straight up going, yeah, this is something for me here. I just as an example, I'll just sort of time frame it for you guys. I think we should be thinking we might see these sorts of shoes in the first half of the year, maybe so that like very early in the first half of the year. So keep an eye on it. And then Super Blast will be closer to March.
Okay.
You reminded me, I'm going to put that in there too. Just Deviate Elite 4 is there. But then the two others for me, and one of them we've seen a fair while ago now, is the Cloud Monster Hyper 2. That shoe has one of the best updates to a geometry I've ever seen.
Okay.
And
we haven't talked about On for a while on this.
I know.
Yeah.
Unanimously loved by everyone who's put it on across. We've seen it at like 4 showings now. And each time it comes in, I have someone else put it on in the store and they go, oh, this is good. Like, this is good. There might be a little bit of shallowness in the fit at the heel that some people might not like, but underfoot, it's just an exceptional update.
What model did you say this is?
Cloud Monster Hyper.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's
two.
Yeah. It's just got way more of the good foam and a bit less of the firm stuff, and it's just shaped a bit differently. And I like think long run shoe.
Okay, good.
And then The Super Blast 3 only because it's a Super Blast, and you have to try the next Super Blast.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm.
And it does change. It will be a different shoe. It'll polarize a bit more from the Mega Blast, but I think it's going to sit in that Femero Plus category a little better.
It's probably going to go move from categories, right? From a daily long to a recovery.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's exactly right. And I think it's good for people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Nice.
So they're my two.
I got a couple I'm interested in. I was sure it was coming out end of this year, but I'm just keen to see what Nike do with their structure range, and so like the Structure Plus. I just want to see what they do with some Zoom X and the Stability shoe. So that'll be interesting. I'm keen to try that shoe.
I hope the structure premium's got pods in the forefoot.
That would be wild. I'd love to see that.
Stable rear foot, pods in the forefoot.
They should pod a stability shoe. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's also like, I guess in that stability category, sometimes this is where it also sits in my recovery shoe for purpose. Like if I'm a little bit niggly tib post, for example, I'm reaching for a shoe like a Structure, just like a slightly more stable shoe down around the foot and ankle.
Yep.
You know what brand we haven't mentioned once yet this pod?
Oh, I know. Yeah. And it probably should get some sort of mention. It's Mizuno?
What?
No, you mentioned that.
No, yeah, you mentioned Neo Vista, Brooks. Yeah, we haven't. Actually, there's one shoe from Mizuno I want to mention, but the Brooks we haven't mentioned. I'm curious to see what the new Flex is like, Glycerin Flex. I know you shake. Yeah, I'm curious. You know, I like flexibility. I want to see how far we can go with this. I actually really liked the Brooks Aurora BL.
Yeah.
That actually is almost one of my favorite all-time shoes, and I think part of it was due to the huge decoupling of the rear foot and the forefoot.
That area was flexible, but the rest of the shoe was pretty stiff.
That's right.
Yeah, the rest of the shoe was the segments.
I know this is going to be a different shoe. It's flexy all the way through. Anyway, I'm interested to try that, but not that I probably will get a pair from Brooks, but I'll have to pay for it. Pay
through the nose for it.
What's that? Yeah,
pay through the nose for it.
Exactly. I have done like some road strides and some short track reps in the new Mizuno Hyperwarp Pure.
Good mention.
And have to mention that shoe because like now we've got the category. Like I spent my money, my $750 on the Adidas Adidas Evo Pro.
Yep.
When it came out, and this is like that was that first like new tier of like a ultra lightweight super shoe. So it was like the weight of the traditional low profile racing flat, but with the stack height of the super shoe. So that, and I liked that shoe. Then the next sort of in that tier, I've got the and we haven't mentioned yet, but like the Asics Ray, and you know, it's the issue with that for me is the stability. So then when we got this shoe from Mizuno, like because I haven't really enjoyed race shoes from Mizuno of late, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this one, but like I love the initial feel of this shoe. Like, because basically it is so light and it's soft. It's softer than the Light Strike mix in the Evo Pro. It's softer than that, but it's maybe not quite as soft as the ATPU in the Ray. But it's just so much more stable than the Ray. It's like it's for how soft and lightweight it is. It's super stable. Part of that stability is just like if you look at the bottom of the shoe, you can see that the base net width is just like a lot wider. It's a little bit lower to the ground, like the stack height slightly lower than the Ray. But like I think actually also the outsole is adding to that stability. It's so grippy, like that. The way they do that outsole is phenomenal. So I just for a bit of fun, like I was on the road bit when I was warming up, I was doing like some turns at pace, and it like you can hit a turn at pace in that shoe, and it grips, and the upper's more locked down than the Metaspeed series. Like Yeah, so like the combination of the upper and the outsole gives you security on a soft, bouncy midsole.
Yeah,
It's
good,
phenomenal.
very good shout. The outsole on that Mizuno is brilliant as well. The weight, it's such a nimble, quick shoe, and something about that Mizuno outsole. And look, I've taken it on, not smooth pavement, but like that slight rippled pavement or bitumen where it sort of things, they grip well anyway, and just the noise it makes and the feeling it has on that bitumen is brilliant. I think like I'm super pumped to have it because it's lightweight. I've done fast reps on the track in it, and it feels like a fast shoe. So you raced in it, Julian, didn't you? You used it on the track race, and I mean, I think as a training shoe, I might prefer the Elite. The TPE on like as a carrier foam, just because I won't feel the ground quite as much. But yeah, look, it's a fast shoe. It's for me, it's almost a track shoe. Like it is quick. So a good upgrade to Mizuno. I don't know how well they're selling at the moment because Mizuno haven't had the history of selling fast shoes, but these are high quality, fast racing shoes now. So
yeah, no, I agree with what you guys have said about that. I look forward to getting back into it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, good shout for that one.
All right, boys, that's 2025. It's been a pleasure talking shoes with you this year. Highlight of the year for me is Nitter's Bay Sheffield win yesterday.
Yeah, we haven't even talked to Tommy about his Valencia race yet.
Don't need to, mate. You've overshadowed all of my achievements this year in this one Bay Chef.
Yeah,
the Olympics.
Yeah, but so let's do this more often next year, Tom. We're going to have to sit down with your wife and just have a chat about letting you off.
All we need to do is get all our wives to coordinate this pod every month. Like that's all we need to do. Why are we in a group chat organizing it? Like they all organize it.
Michael and I have no issue with our wives, Tom.
I tell you what, actually, like, because it's been a while since they've done a podcast together, but I'd say my wife's got the Vomero 18. She hasn't worn Nike for a year, but it came in a D width. So she went the Vomero. She likes it. So, and it's funny, she put that shoe on. She goes, geez, it's bouncy. I'm like, oh, she hasn't worn the Plus, hasn't worn the Premium, but she thinks just goes to show how, like, relative experience to shoe exposure changes your perception of everything. So it's a stable shoe, love.
Get them on. We'll do a wives podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All right, boys.
All right, well done. Very good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Chat to you later.
Doesn't matter if it don't come back.